Several years ago, my beloved friend and brother, Uday Chavda, had a powerful inspiration to create an ashram website that would include all the works of Sri Aurobindo and the Mother, and all the works of their disciples. And it would be cross-platform, so that you could search any word or phrase, and it would, all the books in which it appeared would come up. This has been a tremendous help to many in their sadhana and in their search for relevant answers to questions that are important to them. Now, I'm not going to go into the problems that Uday faced, because they were almost insurmountable, but he had a tremendous will. Well, 3.5, 4 years back, he got glioblastoma. Now, that specific brain tumor, you notice the word blast in it. At any point it can blast through the body. And life expectancy is maximum 16 months. He has been through so much: radiation, chemotherapy, and the Mother has given him 3.5 years. He's now preparing to leave. So when he got this, it was made very clear to me by the Mother that I should continue his work, honor what he had begun, and expand his work for the world. So we have 2 sites. We have Mother and Sri Aurobindo.in, and our YouTube site in my name, Richard Eggenberger. What have we done on this site? Well, Uday had uploaded so many books, and when you go to Mother and Sri Aurobindo, on the left you can just scroll down and find all disciples and devotees by name, alphabetically, and their works. For example, you could go to Nolini Kantagupta, one of the oldest disciples of Sri Aurobindo, who was asked a few years before he left his body, "Where do you live?" And he said, "In the overmind, and sometimes a little higher." So all his works are there, the works of Purani, works in various languages as well. Okay, what was then to be my work was given to me also by a divine inspiration. And that was to interview the oldest disciples of Sri Aurobindo and the Mother. And a number of them had also seen Sri Aurobindo. I can remember Noran Singh Nahar telling us how at the age of 5 or 6, he and his sisters went before Sri Aurobindo, and he said it was the first time Sri Aurobindo put his hand on their heads. And then they went slowly, and Mother blessed them as well. These experiences, when told by those who have been in front of Sri Aurobindo, who have lived with the Mother, are priceless for the future, for those who are seeking and will be able to find answers to their questions. To date, I have interviewed 96 of the oldest ashramites. I have interviewed disciples and devotees, 135 of them. I have interviewed 22 Aurovillians, and more are coming forward. The next thing I took up was Savitri readings. And I had different people read a canto each. It was an intensive project. And we have 9 of those different people reading cantos. And then I received the more than inspiration, but that I should read the whole of Savitri. And I've completed almost 11 books now. I have one more canto of book 2, canto 15, and then book 3, and it will be completed. Over 100 recordings. The next thing was, as people started to write to us, and especially young students from Mumbai, who a dear friend would bring 4 times a year, between 25 and 30 students. As you know, Mumbai is a difficult place to live. And she would bring these kids, and they would ask me all these questions. What is faith? What is doubt? How to control stress? What about drugs and alcohol and smoking? So I started a series called Questions and Answers for a World in Crisis, going through all the works of Mother and Sri Aurobindo. I would put together 15-minute segments of their words on a particular subject. Perhaps it would be sincerity or devotion. It might be anything. There have been 56 uploaded already, and almost 200 yet to be done. Then another inspiration came, and it was a beautiful one because poetry is a great part of my life. And it was to take everything from the future poetry of Sri Aurobindo, where he mentions poets who have captured something from the higher planes. Meredith, Carpenter, Phillips, Yeats, A.E., Whitman. So I began to put together a series called Seeking the New Poetry, and to date we have uploaded 56 of them. I also used A.B. Purani's book, Savitri, An Approach and a Study, because he mentions others like C.J. Lewis. And after that, I thought, well, let me search through my vast library of poets and feel if they have brought something down that I think should be shared with the world. And so now, let's see, there's a series we call Fine Poetry. And Fine Poetry will have many, many poets that may not be familiar to you, but some will be, such as T.S. Eliot, E.E. Cummings, and many more. Then I was asked to do many readings from the books of the Mother, and I did 63 of those. There are 35 Om choirs already uploaded, and presently I do a series with Kittu Reddy. The first series was the ideal of human unity. No, the current series is the ideal of human unity. And the first series was the human cycle. I've started another series that's become very much welcomed by our readers. It's called Explorations in Savitri with Dr. Alok Pandey. And we're up to nearly 100 of those. We began with taking Book 1, Canto 1, line by line. And now we are doing various topics. For example, the Creator and creation, or the old and the new world, all based on lines in Savitri. The last one I'm doing is with Dr. Pachagavkar, the homeopath in the ashram, on topics such as breathing, diabetes, cancer, on and on and on. And he's wonderful. Sometimes we get 150 and more hits in one day for people who are looking for cures that are not totally allopathic. Well, I believe that's everything that I have up to date. If there are people who would like to share their experiences, how they first heard of Sri Aurobindo, how they came to the Mother, how their own path evolved, I will be happy to do an interview with you. It's very, very informal, very relaxed. My last one was with my dear Vladimir. So, and I have another one planned. For me, it's an honor, a great honor to hear from people who have lived with Mother since childhood. And I've grown up with her, and some have written about her. For example, I did 2 or 3 with Tara Johar at the Delhi ashram. And some of these special people, such as Robi Ganguly, who was the ashram photographer and in charge of the ashram press for years, Albert Da, who recently passed away, who told me, well, I went to Mother and I said, Mother, I don't want to do any yoga. I just want to serve you. And Mother said, okay, you'll be my tailor. But Mother, I don't know anything about tailoring. You will be my tailor. And for 50 years, he made the outfits for the children and the adults. Others like Chandrakant, who played tennis with Mother and told the most wonderful things of her experiences. I never got to interview one of my dearest friends, Dmitry von Lorenchik, who I met first in early 1960, I believe, through a friend, Rene Philip Miller, the author, and would visit with him and Dmitri in New Hampshire, Dartmouth, every Christmas. Well, Dmitri was encouraged to come to the ashram by Eleanor Montgomery, who at that time corresponded and came to Mother, and she was a powerful, powerful force. If she got angry, your body would shake. But when she would sit by Mother in the playground, she would be like a young pussycat. She told Dmitri, "You must go to the ashram and meet the Mother." So he said, "All right." Well, he came to the ashram for one reason. He said, "I have never in my life," and it was an extensive life. He lived to the age of 100 in Golconda. He said, "I've never in my life read anything like prayers and meditations of the Mother. And I have to come to the ashram for that purpose alone." So he arrived in the ashram and hated everything. He didn't like the regimentation. He didn't like the departments and the whole thing that looked like a bustling whatever. He said, "I'm going back." So Eleanor said, "At least see the Mother once. She'll be playing tennis tomorrow. So just stand there and look at her." "All right, I'll do that." So he arrives at the tennis ground, and Mother's playing tennis. Suddenly she turns and looks at him. He said to me, "Narad, I levitated 4 feet." And he was hers from then on. Incredible experience. When I first met Mother, it was a very difficult time for me, because I had to break away from the tradition of the Catholic and the Russian Orthodox Church at the age of 17, start searching through Rudolf Steiner, anthropomorphism, and biodynamics, and then finding a guru, a Raja Yogi. And then my whole story will be up there, I guess, in a year. But I do invite you all to access the website and the YouTube. The YouTube site is just interviews and recordings. The website is all the books, Mother, Sri Aurobindo, disciples, many, many more things. Poetry. And when you enter that site, there'll be a search magnifying glass, and you can click on anything you want to learn about. And then go to the left, and you can click on works of Mother, works of Sri Aurobindo, works of disciples, and cross-platform you can find whatever you like. So if there are any questions, I'd be happy to answer whatever.
I'd like to say something. I'm stunned. I'm really moved hearing you speak about your lifelong experience here. It feels like you're a wealth of wisdom and experience. Right. Question.
I'll tell you a story from my Upaguru, my guide, who I had known for nearly 60 years. He passed away a few days before his 93rd birthday. And he was the one who brought me closer to the Mother. He said to me one day, "You see, we are all traveling on the same path. Some are ahead of me. Some maybe behind me. How can I have any anger or frustration towards anyone when we're all going in the same direction, on the same path? And I will share with you, since you've spoken so beautifully and directly, that I first met Sri Aurobindo in 1965. Now, of course, he had left his body, but the experience was so powerful that I wrote to the mother. And then I had the same experience the next day, but different. So I'll tell you about it. Because now, after all these years have passed, I don't have to worry so much about people being jealous or envious or angry about something. But I was told in the beginning by the mother not to replicate these things, and by Aurobindo Vasu not to share with others because of these possibilities. Now, he's in me and mother is in me, so I can tell you. In the first experience, I was taken to his home in the subtle physical, and it was so beautiful. Marble floors, alabaster columns, and just vast, vast. He was seated on a chair on a bench, a stool, on a couch, and he asked me, no words, he motioned me to come to him and to sit on his right. And I did. And then he took his hand, and he put his hand here on me, and the strands of his beautiful white hair fell in between his fingers as he blessed me. Well, I was a very angry fellow in those days. And the next day, I'm again taken to his place in the subtle physical, and he's walking with people who are alive and people who are dead. And they're having this conversation, and he comes up to me, and with this beautiful smile, he says to me, "What a look!" And I said, "Did you or did you not come to me last night?" Well, he wasn't affected by my anger at all. He just smiled at me and said, "I did." And so Pavitra wrote to me that Mother said it was very genuine experiences, and more will come to you. Well, then, in 61, I met Mother, and she gave me the first Adesh to bring down the new music. Then I received the second Adesh in 1968 to prepare to come and build the gardens of the Matra Mandir. Then I received the third Adesh from the Lord, my latest, in which he says to me, very sweetly but very powerfully, "Love all, no exceptions." And that's my life, and you eventually see the interview by Maurice Shukla in 12 parts. But there are many others whom I've done 3, 4, 5 interviews with them. And I thank you all for being here, because when I can share these things. See, my life is defined by humility and gratitude.